was once a king who delighted in his court and in his subjects. But of all the people in his kingdom, he liked the court jester the best of all. Whenever the king was sad, his court jester would always make him laugh. Well, one day during a great celebration in the royal court, the king told his jester, "You are the greatest fool I have ever seen in my life. Here, I am giving you my gold staff. Keep it, my friend, until you find a bigger fool than yourself. Then you must give him the gold staff." So the jester went out, searching for a fool bigger than himself. He went to visit village to village. He went speaking to one and to all. And years later, the king became very sick. The jester learned that the king was dying. The king was on his deathbed. The court jester returned to the palace to see the king. The king told the jester, "I am going on a long, long journey, a journey from which I shall never return." He was speaking about his death. The jester then asked, "Your Highness, have you prepared for this long journey?" The king's response was no. The jester said to the king, "You are going to make a long journey from which you will never return, and for which you have not prepared. Then I must present to you this gold staff that you gave me so many years ago." At last, the jester had found a greater fool than himself. We say that the long journey from which we will not return is that journey from time to eternity. Our life is a preparation for that journey. And they say the prospect of eternal life inspires us to be diligent in acquiring the treasures of heaven, storing up for us treasures in heaven. And maybe probably the best example in our midst today is like Pope Francis. There's an expression, they say, if the pot is boiling, you know the fire is underneath it. Okay? If the pot is boiling, if the water is boiling, you know the fire is burning beneath it. Well, when our lives are burning with acts of charity, we know the fire of God's love is within us. And they say the fruit of faith is hope, the fruit of hope is charity. And like we say, we could see that in the Pope. Pope recently traveled to Assisi, and there he kissed that disfigured man with neurofibrosis, that disease that causes boils to cover the body. And the Huffington Post said that Pope Francis showed the healing power of compassion. Pope Francis himself tweets, "True power is service. The Pope must serve all, the poor, the vulnerable." The Washington Post said, "In the disfigured man, Pope Francis saw Jesus." Okay. Now, to youth, Pope Francis had said, "You have in your heart the promise of hope. You are bearers of hope. Make the future with beauty, goodness, and truth. Have courage, go forward, make noise." Whether it's visiting a rape victim or telephoning a rape victim or a Brazilian prisoner, the Pope has earned the title the unpredictable Pope. And he has what we call evangelical charity. Like they call virtues like poverty, chastity, and obedience the evangelical counsels, because they evangelize. Like seeing his charity, it evangelizes people. The shipwreck of the migrants off the coast of Italy, when 111 people died, Pope Francis's comment was, "Today is a day of tears." To feuding newlyweds, he says, "Let the flying dishes fly, but don't go to bed angry." He expresses his heartfelt solidarity with the victims of the typhoon in the Philippines, where 10,000 died and 500,000 were displaced. Like we say, the Pope is like that boiling water, and he's boiling over with charity because the fire of faith, hope, and charity are within him. And like we say, that's true wisdom. Like the king in that parable was foolish, but true wisdom is to allow faith to produce hope and hope to produce charity.